Would you guys believe me if I told you that this was peak rom-com? As an anime fan of the rom-com genre today, you're spoiled with the choices of hundreds of different anime to choose from. You want some vanilla? Here, have some vanilla. You want something a bit spicier and more dramatic? We have something for you too. Not enough girls? Coming right up. Not enough guys? We don't service those kinds around here. The problem with a lot of these shows is that they can end up feeling like cookie cutters of each other because they all follow a similar pattern with little to no innovation. But the fact that so many of these anime get pumped out each year gives the viewers like you and me a chance to see it all. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Once in a blue moon, however, we get to witness something special. No, not you. An anime that breaks the mold and reminds us that the rom-com genre can always be improved while looking damn good doing it. And that anime is Too Many Losing Heroines, or makeine for short. It's said that 70% of all high school couples break up within a year, and if you're counting post-graduation, almost all of them are destined to come to an end at some point. Even then, people still become infatuated with the idea of love. They cry for it, they laugh for it. But our main character here isn't a simp. Those fickle, wavering feelings? He'd rather be at home playing Smash Bros on a Switch than to actually smash girls in his class.
What do you mean by that?
It's not like he couldn't though, he just doesn't believe in that love stuff. Yeah, but occasionally, he gets these thoughts that really make him wonder what his life would be like if he got to experience love in his teens. The kind that only light novel protagonists get to go through. How would he feel then? That's basically where we're at with our main character, Kazuhiko Nukumizu. And as he's just chilling at a restaurant reading a light novel, he sees something that he really shouldn't have. A blue-haired girl getting rejected by her crush who leaves her to go see the girl he truly loves. Which leaves her at the table sad, depressed, and heartbroken. We've all seen this happen before, so the best thing to do would be to pretend like he didn't see what just happened. Wait, what is she? Oh my god. No, please don't. Don't tell me she's about to... Fuck, that was cringe. Well, good thing that's none of my biz. Shit, I gotta get out of here. Fuck. Nukumizu ends up getting dragged into all this drama against his will and repeats this process 2 more times to assemble his harem of losing heroines. Except in this harem, none of the girls are actually even interested in Nukumizu, the main protagonist. Each girl has a guy that they're in love with, but each of those guys has another girl that they're in love with. So it's all just one huge cuckfest where everybody's getting cucked. And as sad as all that sounds, the anime does a really good job making it absolutely hilarious. Nukumizu is just an emotional dumpster for the 3 girls to let loose on. In other words, he's like the gay best friend to them. Except, he actually gets more action on accident than any straight man could if they tried. And I think that perfectly sums up what this anime is. It's a parody of its genre, but it somehow ends up having better writing and emotional moments than the shows it's mocking. Makeine is the cliche trashy high school rom-com show that's done perfectly. They pushed the genre to its absolute limits, squeezed all they could from it. And what we're watching here is the peak of high school rom-com. And I think the characters are one of the elements that really drive this show to be so good.
Every episode is documented proof that well-written characters make an anime that much more enjoyable. But what makes this anime unique is that the cast is actually comprised of the 3 big quintessential girls that are destined to lose in rom-coms. You have the tanned athletic girl who is always cheerful and full of energy, but also unfortunately the childhood friend. You have the short, quiet, introverted nerdy girl who has a hard time breaking out of her shell. And then there's the last boss of losing love interests, the blue-haired girl. And this one also happens to be the childhood friend. So obviously that bitch doesn't stand a chance. And then of course you have your typical uninterested, boring male MC. Usually I would say that's a negative and doesn't help the show, but he's actually not a bad protagonist for this story because his stoic personality balances out the over-the-top personalities of the other 3 girls. One thing that makes these characters so great is that they don't even feel like characters at all. They feel like individuals that have a life of their own outside of the one that's being told to us. Each of them has their own unique story, and when they interact with each other, you see the developments in their relationships, how they progress and change when certain events happen. They're also not defined by the tropes of their situation either. Look at Nukumizu, the black-haired, uninterested loner who gets rock hard thinking about taking drinks from his favorite water faucet at school. He may look like every other generic lonely rom-com protagonist, but he actually has personality. He has his reasons for being a loner, and he doesn't ship bricks when he interacts with or step up for the girls when they need it. It really feels like a documentary is being unfolded as we watch the natural ebb and flow of people developing connections and genuine bonds with one another. It's beautiful stuff, and the best part about it is that it's realistic. There's no extra fluff or super exaggerated drama that needs to happen in the story to force the characters to get closer. They only need their shared experiences of broken hearts and the literature club to set that stage. And over time, as they work together doing club activities or go on club retreats, they naturally form bonds as they spend time with each other. You can really feel this growing web of relationships. You can see all the changes happening right before your very eyes. Everything just makes sense. And it's incredible how much information you absorb in just one single episode. The craziest part is that it doesn't feel rushed, it doesn't feel forced, and it doesn't feel overbearing even though there are so many subtle things happening. And that can be attributed to the excellent pacing, the stunning visuals, and the brilliant direction of scenes.
The production quality is, for lack of better words, insane. It's like A1 Studios had a movie budget and timeline and decided to use all their resources to create the best damn piece of fiction they could. There's no wasted time building up characters that don't matter or elements that look like they got thrown in at the last minute. Everyone and everything is an essential piece to the story regardless of how big or small they may seem. From the incredibly detailed backgrounds, to the excellent lighting, to the perfectly chosen sound effects, to even the camera angles, they all work together to convey a scene, and oh my god does every scene look amazing. The art and animation team really took the time to make everything look good, and when small things like this water look this beautiful, their lips aren't the only things getting wet here.
Yeah, boy.
I love how you can just feel the passion in the art and animation. And this is one of those shows where it definitely translates on the screen with us, the audience, being able to tell that real effort and consideration was put into every single detail. Never in a million years would I have thought a rom-com anime with high school girls wearing 4 bow ties as part of their uniform would have some of the best visuals I've seen this year. I just wouldn't believe you. But the instant you show me something like this,
Mitsuki, 私のこと好きだったんだね.
I'm hooked.
Now I mentioned earlier that the connections and bonds were very realistic, but not speaking on the romance here would be absolutely criminal of us. It's one of the best things about this anime because they keep it honest. There's no excessive or exaggerated drama, no love at first sight bullshit, and most importantly, slow and subtle development. Nothing is instant, nor is it ever said out loud. The relationships and feelings develop over time, and when an anime like this lets their characters' actions speak more than their words, you know you're watching something special. Now you would expect a show like this to have a few common issues that most rom-coms go through, one being the slow story, and 2 being the lack of development. I personally don't see an issue with either of these because of the excellent pacing and the one thing that always keeps my attention, which is the humor. The jokes, the funny character dynamics, the situations Nukumizu finds himself dragged in are some of the best I've seen from a rom-com anime in a while. It really reminded me that this genre can be funny, that a good balance is possible, that these shows are meant to have jokes too. We're not here to watch these shows just for the love and the drama, we're here to have a nice break in between with some good laughs. The show does an impeccable job striking the perfect balance between humor and more serious moments because it isn't shy to hit you with the emotional scenes in between the great character writing and organic banter and jokes. None of it feels out of place or forced. They really take their time to set the stage for these moments by breaking down our emotional walls and having us watch everything from Nukumizu's perspective. As he gets more and more involved in these characters' lives, we get more and more invested in their stories, and that's when we feel how emotional these moments are, the weight and gravity of the situations. And the instant we realize how heavy it weighs on these characters' minds, we actually start caring about what happens to them, just like Nukumizu, and that's the beauty of this show. The way the story sounds from the summary, you're not really expecting much from the show other than cringe, overused tropes, and plain mediocrity, but surprisingly, this has been nothing short of refreshing and exciting. A1 Studios has blessed makeine with the proper A1 treatment it needed to be amazing, and with the right amount of passion behind the work, it definitely shows on our screens. From the voice acting, to the character writing, to the animation, art, sound, directing, pacing, the list can go on and on. So I think it's just easier to say that this anime is something special. It's genuinely one of the best anime out this year as well, so please, do yourself a favor and watch this peak romance comedy. You won't regret it.